Hey guys, Altered State here. Welcome back to Atomic Heart. So I reloaded a previous save from that little hut right over there. Right over there. And I defeated the Dewdrop guy 3 more times. Three more times. I still didn't get the achievement for it. I even did it just a few minutes ago, right before starting this recording. I did it one more time. No achievement pop. So this game is broken. But we're almost at the end of it, I'm pretty sure. So we're just gonna keep going. And wait, that's how I came up here. How did we get in? We gotta go in through the pole here, right? So yeah, we're just gonna get to the end of this game, and then I'm just not gonna think about it for a while because it's frustrating. Oh, come on. Yeah, almost missed that. All right. But anyways, how are you guys? It's Friday. I'm having a couple drinks while I play.
What do we have here?
What do we
chair
have
and a
here?
TV? This isn't what I was expecting.
What were you expecting? I suspected this room has a specific function.
There's an elephant. Haven't I come in here before? Because I remember seeing this elephant, but then I just didn't get close enough. Or maybe there's another elephant somewhere. Anyways, let's have a seat. Get all brainwashed and shit. Watch some cartoons. See what's gonna happen. I didn't go in there, did I? Oh well. That's what the chair is for, to hold on to.
I believe that the unscheduled acceleration was caused by the elevator access system being hacked. Otherwise, Dr. Filatova would not have been able to initiate it.
So she hacked the system. Kind of like how all these poor bastards got hacked to bits.
Hacked.
that's not
I know
too
what
bad.
that means.
Looks nice. Actually, it looks amazing. A rapture. I wouldn't mind spending some time there
Rapture?
myself. But I can't even imagine what's going on there right now.
Comrade Sechenov asked you to
BioShock
return
reference.
to Chelome. How will you explain this delay?
We can deal with that. Let's talk to the doc first. But if she tries to take off again, she's gonna regret it. I'm sick of playing cat and mouse with her.
Wow, this is cool. I feel like the scenery hasn't changed. Oh, there's a thing happening. I was like, do I just have to stay here and wait? Oh, nice. She's here waiting for us. We don't have to go look for her. Hello, Dr. Litterman.
What are we doing here? What do you want?
Just hear me out, P3. Let me try to give you a different perspective, and then you can decide how to handle things.
Okay.
Do you know how Sechenov is planning to use Collective?
No.
What he's going to do with it?
After
Take over
Collective
the
launches,
world with
people will be able to
robots?
control robots with their minds, and they won't be able to stab each other in the back anymore. Sounds nice.
I used to think that way too.
He's gonna take
But
control
that's
of
not
all
how
of them.
things really are.
Dummy.
Collective isn't just about controlling robots. Sechenov will be able to control everyone who's a part of Collective. Collective is diabolical, Nechayev. It's even worse than slavery.
Bullshit. It's just the same old chain of command, but on a virtual network. What's so awful about that?
Come on, see for yourself.
I've got questions.
I've got questions.
Where are we? How'd you get in here? Why didn't Drofus, I guess we'll just...
Where are we?
This is the Academy of Consequences, the facility's memory, analytics center,
the
and
AOC.
primary archive. The activities of all the other complexes are studied here in order to draw conclusions and generate probability matrices.
Get to the point.
The Academy has a number of interesting departments. For example, there's the Radio of the Future. By mathematically combining shortwave and quantum echoes, we can predict the music people will be listening to 50 or even 80 years into the future. But there's another very special department here called Polymerized Subject Behavioral Psychology. They're supposed to be volunteers, but...
Okay. Well, how'd you get in here?
How'd you get in here? Why didn't the Drofus stop you?
I work here.
Drofus.
Well, I used to. Only Sechenov can revoke my access. And he's got his hands full right now. And I'm no threat to him.
Get to the point. And no more grenades or other bullshit. Any funny business at all and I'll kill you. This is your last warning.
Sure, fine. Come on, I won't waste your time.
Okay.
Okay, lead on.
I wanted to say get to the point again. Got nothing interesting down here. I also noticed while I was editing videos during that opera scene with the Space Odyssey song, there was a chirper on the ballerina's podium that I don't think I picked up. So that sucks. I might play through this game again, try and get some of the achievements, but if they're gonna be broken and disappoint me like that,
Are you ready? Disable polarization.
don't know if I can put myself through that. Jumpies! Oh.
Fuck is this place?
It's like
Haunted
the
house or something?
Huh.
It's a tomb of
I was
the
gonna
mind.
say it's like the cabin in the
volunteers who
woods,
lay the foundation for collective.
which kind of is a haunted
First few
house.
groups of subjects all died. Group 30 went insane. Group 73 killed themselves. Group 101 killed each other. Group 204 was the most successful. They all survived.
It's a lot of groups.
Their consciousness is now in an imaginary world. We call it limbo.
Oh, sweet. Sounds nice.
And their bodies are here, under my complete control. Want me to make them do something?
Why?
Was he?
To show that I'm not lying?
Whatever. Line them up.
Line him up. Ah.
Keep going.
So that's collective.
The fat guy. Tell him to jump. He could use
Just him? Why don't I make them all jump? After all, we all live in a communist society. Goddamn you, jump!
About this jumping. I like the squat technique there in the middle.
it. This is insane. Why do you people even do this shit? Fuck. Poor bastards.
No, that's where you're wrong. Chemically speaking, they're all perfectly happy. That's what collective is all about. The entire world will be just like
Why would
this.
Sechenov want to turn everyone into a bunch of idiots? Was he trying to make fun of the world by making people run around naked and act like animals?
No.
Sounds
We were able
great.
to prevent the degradation of individual consciousness. Memories, behaviors, speech patterns are all preserved. But there's one thing they won't be able to avoid. The complete loss of their free will.
Shit.
We gotta stop this.
Stop this. That's what Victor was trying to do. You got in his way, and now it's too late.
Your boyfriend lost his mind and killed people. He tried to tell me Sechenov taught the robots to kill during the design phase. Why would Boss do that?
Why? Why did he design Collective to be a mind control system? Why does he need those special neurocontrollers? Sechenov wants to enslave the entire world. I'm sorry, but if you don't understand that, you're an idiot!
Let's take over the world? But I thought he a good guy. This is my character talking, not me.
Boss would never do that.
I knew
He
from
would,
the
and he
get-go.
will.
He's an idiot.
On Monday.
My character's an idiot.
All this is really hard to swallow.
On Monday.
But I'll help you. Whatever you're planning, I'm in.
You're willing to turn on Sechenov.
After what you just showed me. Yeah. I want to hear what he's got to say.
I gotta fight him and his twins.
P1, P2, P3. Your mind is never free.
Who's P1 and P2? I'm P3.
A man can be repaired.
Uh-oh.
What? What was that?
Look at
What's
all
what?
the colors,
Nothing.
man.
I'm just digesting what I saw.
I think I'm digesting something else.
Why did you help me?
Perhaps because I care. And besides, it's not about you. Well, not only you.
Okay. If you worked here, then...
If you worked here, then why didn't you try to stop this?
I thought it was for the best. I thought it was for the good of the entire Soviet Union. But when I realized what was really going on, I had to bide my time, wait for the right moment. Victor and I risked everything and... you know the rest.
Fine, moving on.
The test subject is not leaving limbo.
Hey, Major.
I'm fine. My head's been killing me lately. I've been seeing things. This is one hell of a job, let me tell you.
Have you ever played Twister?
You won't even remember a thing.
Buddy.
Hallucinations are serious business. Well, I am a neurosurgeon. I can probably help, if everything ends well.
Tell me,
No thanks.
what do the
A
colors
little
mean?
vacation will fix me right up. I mean, if this all ends well.
A vacation, hey?
Fine.
Listen, about Victor,
Listen, about Victor,
What? Did you have no choice? You couldn't have acted differently? Will you now tell me that you're sorry? What?
I mean, yeah, common, right? I am not sorry.
I am sorry.
Well, I'm not. I should be, but Victor...
I had a
No
choice
other
there.
outcome was possible.
I had a time limit.
It wasn't even quite him at that point. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. I still don't feel comfortable around these people.
I just don't feel comfortable around these people.
Huh, well, just you wait. Soon this is gonna happen all over the Soviet Union, and later the whole world. Then you'll see all
Get it.
people stripped of their free will.
Yeah, get it.
You know, free will doesn't guarantee that a person won't be a scumbag.
What? Are you justifying atrocities?
You're doing.
Atrocities? What atrocities?
Huh?
If they're volunteers, coming here was their choice. It's got nothing to do with me.
You're a monster.
Affirmative. That's enough. I'm too busy to chat right now.
Very well.
What?
Enjoy the view.
Are you this view? What? What are you talking about? Is that a sex thing? Okie dokie. Can you explain this? I've seen this everywhere. What is this? Why are people why are people strung up everywhere? Look, I got things to loot. There's no reason for me to. I'm already like upgraded all the way. Basically. Mostly been buying upgrades for things I'm not even using, or at least might only use in a boss fight. Hold on, lady. I'll be right there. Let me just loot all the stuff and things. There's a thing to read. Can learn some more stuff. Data deleted. Long distance microphone recording. A recording of a conversation between Dr. Sekchinov and Viktor Petrov has been appended to this message at Stockhausen's request. Tell me your secrets.
Comrade Sechenov, Collective's control interface has to be reconfigured so it can only control robots. I won't allow this device to be used to control human minds.
Victor, we're men of science. There's no room at the facility for emotions or politics. Follow your order.
Listen, Comrade Sechenov, I don't have a problem with a certain wise intellect setting the course for all mankind. What I do have a problem with is who you see in the role of Demiurge.
So this is about personal relations.
Whoever told you you were the worthiest of the worthy, huh? Who put you in charge of history? Do you think you're better than everyone else?
I see that all that romantic melodrama at the theater has had a real effect on you. Shall I assume you're refusing a direct order?
Yes, I am. Now what?
That means bad
Are you
things
going
for
to kill
you.
me?
Victor, I don't know what you think of me, but I would never stoop to something so, well, something so primitive.
I thought he was gonna say easy. Or something like that. Something so primitive. I wouldn't just kill you. I'll make you lose your mind and kill other people, and then have a random guy with a club with 2 blades on it kill you. Oh, no, wait. He killed himself. That's right. Wait, the chest. Anything else in here worth getting? Wait, what's in there? There's another desk. Why am I going so slow? Are we going down the stairs? Can I go down the stairs? Should I go down the stairs? I'm going down the stairs. This isn't where we came from, is it? Oh, there's nothing down here. Don't even have a chirper? What's the point? Okay. Are we gonna chat again? I'm tripping balls again.
Resist, darling. Resist.
Colors.
Ah, fuck. I'm so sick of these goddamn hallucinations.
Do you see colorful spots before your eyes?
How'd you
Does
know?
your perception of the world change?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm a
exactly.
fuzzy bunny. What is
Do you
that
know what
about?
this shit is?
You were crossing into limbo, but it can't be stopped. How did you interrupt it?
I don't know.
It's like that lump of polymer is calling out to me. A big, teardrop-shaped one. Right there, straight above us.
What?
Do you see it?
There's nothing there.
What do you mean? I'm looking right at it. Oh crap, now it's gone.
It's a hallucinatory reaction,
Shit.
a side effect of the surgery you underwent.
I didn't even see
the
it.
reaction of a damaged brain to the presence of a neuropolymer implant.
What are you even talking about? What implant?
Did Sechenov not tell you? So you don't know what's happening to you?
No idea.
Charles, do you know what's happening with my head?
I am not detecting any internal changes, Major. But your Voskhod polymer extension.
You're gonna tell me
is
my glove
clearly
isn't actually
receiving an
magical?
unidentified stream of external data.
What's that interface? Who are you talking to?
It's a chatting artificial librarian, an AI in my polymer glove. Doesn't matter. Charles, what are you talking about?
Charles?
Charles?
Wait, Charles, what data? What Voskhod polymer extension?
The Voskhod polymer extension was developed using data from experiments conducted by Dmitri and myself.
What? Yourself? And why are you calling Dr. Sechenov Dmitri? Who are you?
Huh? My
All right,
glove.
Major. This will be difficult to explain.
Betraying me.
I am...
Charles, why the fuck are you all staticky? What the hell is going on?
Is he
Keep it
staticky?
together, Major. If what I'm thinking is true,
I think
should
I'm
be able to
going
access
crazy.
the archive right now. There will be records about you.
My character's seeing teardrops that I'm not seeing. He's hearing staticky voices when I'm not hearing staticky voices.
State your name and
Character
personal
really is
access
crazy.
code.
Crispy critters.
Invalid name.
Fine, I'll hack in.
Not
Crispy
so fast.
critters.
Name Chariton Zaharov. Code Fluffy.
Code accepted.
Fluffy.
Access granted.
That's what I look like when I'm hallucinating. Fluffy.
Charles, are you there?
Oh, now he's staticky.
Nothing?
Nothing. So, what is Charles then?
Long story short, your Charles is Professor Chariton Zaharov.
Huh, that
Huh?
was short. So how could he be Zaharov?
Professor Zaharov was developing the collective subsystems and worked on the module. The one you have inside you.
Whoa.
They told us he ran a number of experiments on himself. The result was disastrous and unpredictable.
On himself? Was he an idiot or something?
Oh, he certainly wasn't an idiot. Zaharov was a misanthrope
Genius.
obsessed with
Turned himself
science.
into a glove.
I don't think he cared about what happened to his body all that much.
So when did you realize that Charles is
So when did
Zaharov?
you realize that Charles is Zaharov?
Just about right now, when he went offline, I had no idea Sechenov had stashed his consciousness into your glove. It was the abbreviation Charles that tipped me off.
Okay, so Charles isn't a person anymore, just a
So
device?
Charles isn't a person anymore. Just a device.
I don't know, I guess he is.
I
Except this
know.
device is based on the logical paradigm and experience of one of the brightest Soviet geniuses.
So why does Sechenov want him?
Because Sechenov never dismisses what he can use. It's easier for him to change everything to fit his needs. I guess you noticed this already. What's funny is that you seem to have made friends with your glove.
Well, we've been through a lot. I've got feelings, you know, being alive and all. So does he.
Did.
Did. How can you talk about this so calmly?
How can you talk about this so calmly?
To me, Chariton Radionovich died a long time ago. I'm done mourning him. And besides, I'm a scientist. We're more impassionate towards death than to muddling one's brains.
So how do we get in?
So, how do we get in?
Only a small bunch of people have permanent access to the archive. Sechenov, Lebedev, the director of the academy,
Are you one of
and
them?
Zaharov. Like you reminded me.
Oh, so my glove can get in, but I can't.
Fluffy, huh? So what would we have done if the password hadn't worked?
I'm sure you would have smashed the door with your bare fists. But now Archivist thinks
My
I am
bunny
Dr.
fists.
Zaharov, so we got lucky. And now we can learn everything about you. Let's go.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, it's just open. Okay. Anything missed? There's a lot of things to loot.
Captain Zaharov.
Thank
What's
you.
the subject of your query today?
Agent P3, personal file.
Your search returned 42 audio records.
Oh shit. I
So,
thought I got
which
stuck for
one
a
do you
second.
want first?
I couldn't care less.
Then pick one at random.
Is that what all of these things? Oh my god. Are you willing to die? Then you're our man. Speaker, despite the march of progress, one fact remains. Flying to the Red Planet is a risky, dangerous proposition. Reporter, who are the people who will bring the light of humanity to Mars for us all? For us all. Speaker, I think that the first trips to Mars will be very, very dangerous. The risk of a lethal outcome will be high, but it can't be helped. Are you willing to die? Then you're our man. How would you describe this mission? I think it's the most inspiring thing I could possibly imagine. Life should be something more than just solving everyday problems. When you wake up in the morning, you should think about the future with ecstasy. You should feel inspired and love life. Short-sightedness. At your request, I have reviewed the compilations of absurd quotations from bourgeois figures that have since been utterly trounced by progress in Soviet science. 1876, the telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. William Morton, President of Western Union. The Americans have need of the telephone, but we do not. We have plenty of messenger boys. Sir William Price, Chief Engineer of the British Post Office. Fooling around with alternating currents, just a waste of time. Nobody will ever use it. Too dangerous. Thomas Edison, get rid of it. We don't want to make fun of Edison. The wireless music box has no imaginable commercial value. Who would pay for a message sent to nobody in particular? David Sarnoff's partners, in response to his request, Invest in Radio, mentioned that the radio was invented by Alexander Popov. While theoretically and technically television may be feasible, commercially and financially it is an impossibility. Lee D. Forrest, get rid of it. Our citizens don't care about commercials or financial success. In 1932, there is no basis whatsoever on which to suggest that nuclear power will ever be possible. It would mean that man has learned to split the atom. Albert Einstein, very good, but make sure Einstein actually said it, otherwise it'll be like his riddle. A rocket will never be able to leave the Earth's atmosphere. New York Times, this one is simply magnificent, their very first issue. The working man always has been and always will be, but the robot is nothing more than a flash in the pan. Henry Ford. Television won't be able to hold on to any market it captures after the first 6 months. People will soon get tired of staring at a plywood box every night. Daryl Zanuck, producer and one of the founders of the 20th Century Fox. Not sure about this one. Don't publish it until the party sort out its relationship to entertainment. This thing is so long. Oh my god. I'm almost done. Where a calculator like ENIAC, the first computer today, is equipped with 18,000 vacuum tubes and weighs 30 tons, computers in the future may have only 1,000 vacuum tubes and perhaps weigh only 1.5 tons. Popular Mechanics, good, but translate the name Popular Mechanics into Russian instead of leaving it in English. There is practically no chance communication space satellites will be used to provide better telephone, telegraph, television, or radio services inside the United States. T. Craven, FCC Commissioner, underscore the fact that maybe they can do it, but we sure can. There is no reason for any individual to have a computer in their home. Ken Olsen, founder of Digital. But how is everyone gonna look up porn? Unknown feat. Andrei Renovsky's unknown feat draft of an article. For a long time, Andrei Renovsky's name was spoken of which contempt and dismay in Soviet scientific circles. As a capitalist and idealist who fled the Soviet Union, and a vocal critic of the party's authority and the ideals of communism, it is obvious that a good relationship with him was simply impossible. However, late when Ryanovsky's tellingly grew disillusioned with American ideas, his rhetoric changed and his relationship to the motherland changed along with it. It goes without saying that this move led to a hue and cry in the West and genuine glee in Ryanovsky's homeland. Nowadays, Andrei Rayanovsky has successfully developed his deep-sea dwelling project with the aid of underwater engineers from Sakhalin and his considered true friend of Soviet science and Facility 3826. Thanks for all the fish. Needless to say, large-scale projects to conquer outer space and colonize planets are laughable and worthy of respect. Man has always reached for the stars, but let's be honest, there's nothing out there. Space is a cold, empty, inhospitable place without any hidden mysteries. All that awaits us there are resources, the satisfaction of mankind's ego. Our home is another matter entirely. I'm referring to the Earth, or more precisely, the ocean. We know less about the depths of the ocean than we do about the dark side of the moon. According to available data, only 2 to 5% of the world's oceans have been explored. Evolution can't help us in space, but underwater, it can reveal our true potential. In this article, you will learn about the potential benefits of exploring and conquering the ocean. To put it bluntly, what's the point in flying to the far reaches of space when our own home holds more secrets than any other planet? Archive conversation. Michael, I've been receiving very unambiguous reports about what's been going on at the theater. If even a portion of what my informants have been telling me is true, I'd like to conduct a certain experiment. Give them free rein and curtail any security measures. I want to know if even Soviet citizens and facility employees can be capable of more failings. After 2 months, find an excuse for us to visit the place. Tell them Vavilov has achieved amazing results and we want to celebrate it. Invite VIPs. I want to see this with my own eyes. Evolution? No, revolution. The time has come to acknowledge that we are careening into the future at an amazing speed. Our scientific machine is running at full capacity. The most talented Soviet citizens are working day and night to advance the cause of progress. But what of evolution? It remains in the distant past. The 1917 revolution demonstrated that it was possible to tear down the old and erect the new in its place. Same goes for the decrepit monarchist phenomenon of evolution. Now man is not just the pinnacle of creation, but a creator himself. And he has the ability and the right to alter himself in accordance with his desires. Gills for divers, wings for the first responders, flame retardant skin for firemen. This is just a small sample of what awaits us in the near future. We are no longer grist for the mill of natural selection. We are natural selection. From Comrade Sechenov's lecture to the Soviet Academy of Sciences, 1953. And there's more computers. Fuck. Okay. This is gonna be a exposition-heavy episode, I think. I guess let's read what this one has to say. Final letter. Hypothetically speaking, thanks to today's discovery of supplemental biphoton quantum entanglement, I can actually send this letter into the past, say 30 years ago, to myself at this very terminal. For example, I can write a message to myself dated June 9th, 1955, saying, "Run!" And the robots have revolted. Save yourself. Unfortunately, this is just a theory. We're actually quite far from actually communicating with the past, so I'll have to carry the memory of that day till my death 63 years from now. Data deleted. Oh, we have an audio file.
After the incident, plutonium's brain was no longer suitable for a spark polymer extension. So I designed a similar polymer-based brain function extension for him called Voskhod. Cheriton, may he rest in peace, would be pleased to hear that his designs had not been wasted.
Sweet. Review number 500. Plutonium is recovering following neural adjustments and the installation of the Voskhod module. He has no memory of his wife, the events in Bulgaria, or any of the other data you indicated. He is in a extremely tenuous psychological and emotional state. As an active Argentum agent, he is already fit for duty. Awaiting your orders. P.S. Unfortunately, during a key phase of the adjustment, an employee expressed sympathy with the agents, describing them as returning from their ordeal as crispy critters. This expression has since become an inextricable part of the agent's psychorhythmic and emotional background. If necessary, we could perform another adjustment in order to fix this linguist oddity, but it would take time. Huh. Interesting. Crispy critters. That's me. Ooh, more things. Whoops. Oh, can't loot those ones? Okay, so... Oh my god, look at all of the computer terminals. don't like all of these things, but we have to read them all. Academy Archive Protection Department, in light of current auspicious tendencies, we expect the following fundamental breakthroughs in the near future. In 1959, widespread use of low-temperature nuclear reactions, end of the oil and gas era, probability 87%, 1961 full-fledged human cloning, probability 100%, transport of Martian soil to Earth, probability 64%, last coal mining mine closed, end of Stakhanov age, probably 96%. All planets united by a single communication network, probably 45 to 87%. Destruction of nuclear weapons, 13%. First space hotel and space tourism, 69%. Nice. Money no longer used in the Soviet Union. Allied nations and a number of Western countries. Currency replaced with megawatt hours as unit of exchange in USA, probably 50%. The Nea loves Hemlock is demonstrating a great deal of activity within Anna's body, but it's not ready to reproduce yet. As for her husband, I want you to fully exploit his potential. We cannot lose staff members. Perform the necessary operations and put him in the hospital room under surveillance. This experiment is too unique. There's only one way the plant can reproduce. If it doesn't work, we'll have to start all over again. Inauspicious timeline. In light of current inauspicious tendencies, we expect the following threats in the near future. Spike in criminal activity due to the increased free time among citizens, probably 32%. Large social and economic rifts between roboticized and non-roboticized countries and the appearance of outcast countries, 43%. Growth of nationalistic attitudes among minorities, as well as drive for revenge and denial of pan-human values, 98%. Increase in epidemiological threats over population in outcast countries, shrinking populations in advanced countries such as European countries, the USSR, China, probably 59%. Breakdown of educational systems, degradation of the humanities, and segmentation in technical specializations, 33%. Decreased aptitude for education, short attention spans, and a focus on small doses of information around the population of countries, around 99%. Increase religiosity? Religious fundamentalism and terrorism, probably to 71%. Extreme repression of the progressive countries, reduction in the speed at which laws are passed. Increase absurdity in the enforcement laws in opposition to the freedom of thought among citizens, 100%. Collapse of industry due to technological malfunctions, 68%. All right, so we read through 3 terminals. Why does it still say I've got things to loot here? Because I had one thing to loot. Okay. Got one more on this side, and then we gotta go to the other side. Oh my god. Are you cheating again? You sank my aircraft carrier, E2. Sad face. You sank my submarine, D. They're playing Battleship? What are you? Simple, if you get hit at A10, there can't be anything at B10. Did you forget that you can't put the ships right next to each other, or is this gonna be like last time? Are you nuts? Do you really think I can't see what you're doing from up here? Why are you using your workspace to play Battleship? They told me not to let the Kimov brothers work together, but I didn't listen. If I see this again, I'll keep one of you here and have the other one transferred to Vavilov to plant potatoes. Get back to work. Archive Conversation 9. Vice is a physiological condition in the magnum opus of the opium of the masses. The Bible, this is demonstrated clearly, if indirectly, man learned the vice not after eating of a mystical fruit, but after coming to know himself. The body dictates vice to us. If we want to procreate, so we become rapists and perverts. We want to eat, so we steal money and food. We want pleasure, so we surround ourselves with senseless luxury. Man is not given the vice on his own. What pushes him toward it is his limited primitive shell, which requires food, sex, drugs, and care. Only the brilliance of pure intellect can illuminate mankind's path forward, because man is not a body, he's a way of thinking. Radio of the Future. Excerpt from a prayer of liberty. In response to those who are curious about the radio of the future, yes, we really can listen to the radio broadcast from the future. Literally, how does it work? If you read any of the previous papers, you'll find out, but you aren't really interested in the technical details, are you? You're interested in what it can do for you. You want to know if you can buy a lottery ticket knowing that it will win or avoid a nuclear holocaust, am I right? It's not that simple. What we are hearing is a probable future, what could happen in 10, 30, or 50 years based on what happens right now. But we have never, I repeat, never heard the same broadcast twice. A week ago, the Soviet Union crumbled in 1989 and ceased to exist as a country. This morning, we heard a presentation by the General Secretary of the Communist Party from 1999. One day, we intercepted an emergency message about the launch of nuclear missiles in 1976. I was horrified. Future does not exist yet. Please remember that. All we can hear is an echo of an infinite quantumized multivariance and extract the most frequently repeated tendencies from it. What we will actually see tomorrow is entirely in our hands. To the file with the archive. To file with the archive. Comrade Klimov, do you seriously want to get data on the alternative timeline in which the Third Reich never invented the V2 rockets? You want to know how the world would be different? Okay, I'll tell you. It wouldn't. Do you know why? Because the inventions of new weapons is called an arms race for a reason. If it's a race, that means someone has to come in first. In our history, the Germans came in first, although it didn't particularly help them. But the Americans were nipping at their heels, as were we and the Brits. Yes, the V2 had an astonishing influence on missile design and the space program. It was just a matter of time. Can you tell me who invented the radio? Was it Popov, Marconi, Hertz, Tesla? Do you know what's really interesting? What would have happened if the damn fascists hadn't invented the plague of theirs and mowed down half the world's population? From now on, don't bother the alternative prediction department with the childish questions in the vein of who'd win in a fight, a shark or a bear? P.S. the bear, obviously. Sweet. Okay, so you are just chilling there. I don't want to do that yet. We still have to... Oh my god, there's more up there too? Holy shit, what is this? Babina! Oh my god, important message. Let's go, B2! Important message. Mess, A10. Mess, give up already, B10. Are you nuts with it? Okay, so same thing as the other one. I told you once, I told you 1,000 times, Dimitri, I don't want a new body, and it's nothing to do with the putting on airs, as you put it. There's just no point, and much more productive in this state. It's simply more practical and useful for myself and for you. You already have your Ekaterina dolls following you around. Leave me be. Rough daff. Add some conclusions at the end. It's really dry. Just a little while ago, what if conversations were at best the purview of statisticians and analysis? Statistician. I can't even read that word. Depending on the topic in question, but today, thanks to Lebedev's quantum systems, predicting alternative histories has literally become a science. This has allowed us to get a very accurate report on the history of the Soviet Union and World War II if the party had not approved. Sechenal's project to roboticize our troops in the late 30s, his theoretical report has received the designation 5P at the Academy of Consequences. Stage 1, defeat. Due to the novelty of the technology and the weak adaptation of our manufacturing capabilities, the robots turn out to be unable to resist the Wehrmacht's forces. And initial casualties are colossal. The Soviet Union loses all its territory up to Moscow. Stage 2, regrouping. Towards the middle of the war, human casualties and pressure from the Reich become so great that the Red Army's only salvation lies in building more advanced combat robots in order to make up for lost soldiers. The process of manufacturing new combat robots is reformed and enhanced in the Urals and Siberia. Stage 3, respite. Seeing the Soviet Union's defeat and refusing to believe the upcoming robot upgrades, Allied troops concentrate their forces and become more aggressive since they understand that the Red Army will no longer be cannon fodder in the European war. The Reich halts its advance deep into the Soviet Union and switches to the Western Front. Stage 4, breaking point. Massive battalions of robotic troops with various functions carry out highly effective sudden attacks, reclaiming our captured territory in a matter of weeks. In the winter, their mobility and lack of reliance on food and medicine give the Soviet machines a massive advantage. Stage 5, victory. Even before the creation of V2 rockets and the failure of the Brown Plague, Soviet robots liberate most of Europe. Since the world's population is never reduced by illness, we find ourselves in a fragile world where a weakened Soviet Union is forced to rely on the might of its technology. Holy shit, how many more do I have? I have 2 more down here, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more upstairs. Holy shit. Okay, so now I have an objective now that I picked up a thing. So let's go read all the things real quick before we do that. I know this is taking forever and this episode's probably incredibly boring. You can skip it if you want. But I like to know what the hell is going on. Alright, so we read that one. Let's do this one, I guess, but after we finish looting. Oh my god, creepy. Hi, Christina left 2 devices on overnight, and Anfisa and a Lighthouse. I usually use them to test speech based into their inner system communication protocols. I wanted them to just exchange phrases and keep going based on the progress Turing method. Here are the results. It's pretty creepy. I'll probably just wipe one of them tonight. Play. Play.
Oh, you've got a very large data exchange sector, Beacon. I'd like to interface with it.
Interface with your beacon.
When I analyze the dimensions of your chassis, I experience an overload in my neurocomposite architecture, Betsy. My system's core processors have begun to consume a large quantity of electricity.
I demand that you interface with my
boner.
system immediately
God.
and transmit all your data to me in large packets, Beacon.
That kind of connection can be dangerous, Betsy. You know, humans will see a digital sign of my presence. Please, can you wait while I activate a firewall?
No, Beacon, I don't want to wait any longer.
Firewall's the
Sorting
condom.
your data through a firewall will make information exchange less pleasurable. Please accept my access protocol right away.
Quiet, Betsy. A scientist is approaching.
God damn it.
What do we have here? What the hell? Stop recording!
Robot sex. We still need to think about all the names since terms come about naturally just like slang, but for now, here are our orders regarding articles. We can use the following terms. Intergram of Soyuz system, a unified information field that can be accessed via computer terminal. Slide, a unit of information space in the system. Try not to use the term page. Under any circumstances, it's unprofessional. Application, a small program that grants the user access to a certain function. Do not use the following terms. Social network. Soviet users do not have access to any network, socialist or otherwise. Come up with something clearer. Glitch. What kind of word is this anyway? It sounds like nonsense. Use error, malfunction, or some other normal word. Stylus. I keep seeing this bourgeois Latin word. Use pen or light pen instead. Well, designing the latest Android models, we have had to focus not only on utilitarian tasks, but also on commercially viable. Our products are exported all over the world, and they need to look and feel like something from the Soviet Union. In other words, we need to focus on what the Americans call design. We spent a long time discussing what elements will be the most recognizable when it comes to robots, names, designs, functions, etc. Then all these ballerinas, Natashas, and such started showing up. Everything from a robot's appearance to its quality should scream, made in the USSR. Archive conversation number 26. There we go. Attention, equipment manager, provide me with 2 prototype ballerinas' bodies and disconnect them from the neural networks. Delete their AI modules. I need 2 blank robots without any control systems. For sex. Comrade I've been seeing more sloppy use of terms in our publications again. Remember, robot is a general term for any manufactured mechanism based on robotics. It's an automatic device designed to perform various mechanical operations that acts according to a previously established program. An android is a humanoid robot with various functions. You keep mixing up every robot that can communicate with an android. Please be more mindful of this. The term bio-robot has been prohibited by Comrade Sechenov himself and may not be used in any way. Words like automaton, doll, and machine have no place in our publications. Alright. So, yeah, there's one more over here. And then we go upstairs and read all those ones. Or probably the remainder of this episode. What a boring episode. I apologize, but we learned a lot. About Noshkin. This is really crucial, Maria. I get it. Noshkin is a pig, but this is just unprofessional when he actually goes to the supervisor, or even worse, Sechenov, and starts talking about how his work is magically cataloging itself. Then when they see who's doing it all and find out it's just a nasty prank, what are you gonna tell them? That Noshkin seduced you in a gagra and wouldn't marry you? So you started sabotaging the lab? You need to stop. If anyone asks me about this, I won't cover for you. It's happening again. Serious, Maria, it's happening again. My catalogs are splitting up and restructuring themselves on their own. I measured it. I've got a spreadsheet. I think the entire archive is operating like collective, only separately. What if we accidentally collected or created a self-learning system that can think and make decisions? I mean, with all the other insane stuff going on here, does that really sound that crazy? I'm going to try and run a reverse Turing test on it. I haven't slept in 72 hours, but if I'm right, we're all getting a promotion. P.S. Sorry again about what happened last winter. Agents Blesna and Plutonium are extremely valuable employees. Saving their lives is a top priority. I'll perform the operation myself. Congratulations! On behalf of facility management and myself personally, I would like to congratulate you all on a magnificent beginning to the reporting period. Our close-knit team has proven yet again that a spirit of camaraderie and efficient teamwork can yield stunning results. In regard to the aforementioned, it is my pleasure to announce that this month every archive employee will receive a bonus, and in the interest of enlightenment, everyone will also receive complimentary tickets to Director Lustochkin's theatrical performance. Contact the venue for details. Thank you, comrades. Okay, I think we're done down here. We can go to our objective, but let's go upstairs and read some more. Oh my god, fix this ASAP. I've gone over the materials for the Science and Life article, but in nature there is no competition with the same species. Any among different species. A wolf eats a rabbit, but a rabbit doesn't eat another rabbit. It eats grass, nor does wheat get in the way of other wheat, but wheatgrass, saltbush, and sow thistle are different species, so if they show up somewhere where wheat is growing, they will take its food and compete with it. Who wrote this nonsense? Are you trying to embarrass the entire Soviet Union with this crap? Complaint. Dear comrade Samushev, I'm utterly... Sorry, my phone just lit up. I was like, what's happening? I'm utterly stunned by your careless attitude to the censorship of materials that have been published following your consultation. A number of periodicals references to the complex are as cut off from real life or having a poor connection to our production facilities are simply false. Vavilov Complex is first and foremost a scientific institution that operates according to a specific plan. Our theoretical work is bound up in the most substantial way with practical issues related to seed cultivation and the facility's future designs. A man would have to be blind to deny the enormous accomplishments Vavilov's team has made in so little time and under such trying circumstances. The Institute's research is laying the foundation necessary to develop a real-world project to conquer new worlds. Going forward, please be more mindful of how our world is depicted in print. Report, Vavilov. Seeds, tons, processed package, wheat, 30, non-consumed, buckwheat, 12, consumed, 2, non-consumed, rendered. Okay, this is not that exciting. P.S. Double check this data, especially about the dandelions. It's clearly an error. What are we supposed to do with 40 tons of dandelions on Mars? Make dandelion wine? Yeah, do that. Project Hemlock has been halted and deemed unfit for further study. You are hereby informed that all materials pertaining to the Hemlock are to be cataloged as top secret under designation A2, organized and filed in the appropriate sections. Any further references to it or in other documents are to be redacted via the standard system. Be especially mindful of information about employees who were allegedly injured during the project. Delete the names of all casualties. Excerpt from Life magazine. Despite its secrecy, argentum, silver, and Latin has already become the stuff of legend in a number of European and American publications. Journalists are surprised by its extremely small staff, its incredible training and equipment, and its name, which is very atypical of the Soviet Union, you've got to admit, compared to abbreviations like SMERSH and YGD. It comes off as odd and clumsy. I like SMERSH. Rumors vary. The squad soldiers are described either as enormous red-eyed bears who eat children or athletic blonde supermen. One look at whom would have driven Hitler to dissolve the Reich and admit the German Übermensch defeat. They are a mystery and will remain one. We cannot say this much for certain. Argentum is currently the best trained special forces squad on Earth, and given the Soviet Union's plans, it could become the best trained squad in the solar system before long. Archive conversation number 22. Comrade Sechenov, following the events of the Bulgaria, agents Blesna and Plutonium have both returned in a coma. They are in a vegetative state and are not connected to the neural network. No signs of consciousness have been observed. Awaiting your orders. Article by Tom Wolf. Regarding your request for experts from the facility from the foreign media, Washington Post, May 8th, 1955, article, The Soviet Union Steel Frame by Tom Ball. Universal robotization in the Soviet Union can be considered a most curious case of modern hypocrisy, ignoring any populist questions about whether or not robots that pass the Turing test have personal identities. I am merely pointing out how absurd and at the same time sinister the widespread use of this workforce is. Judge for yourselves. A nation whose guiding light is an ideology that embraces equality and strives to end the exploitation of workers and peasants by capital has now subordinated an entire army of soulless machines that can satisfy its every whim. I don't know anything about Collective 2.0, but I'd say the Soviet Union is capitalism 2.0 writ large. The only question is when these robots will demand equal rights for themselves and how bloody the revolution will be. Acceleration of evolution. On the acceleration of evolution, despite all their talents and indisputable success archived by Vavilov's research assistants, there is concern regarding an issue that, while predictable, can only be confirmed in practice. This problem is more profound than preparing seeds for inhospitable conditions on other planets. Unlike scientists, evolutionary mechanisms do not make predictions or evaluate risks. They simply function, culling the weak and rewarding the strong. Dozens of, even hundreds of factors will affect the growth and development of our cultures, so it makes sense to suggest that while working with the genetics of plants, we should begin by breeding them for faster growth and renewal rather than trying to foresee every minor detail about them. We just need to give evolution a shot in the arm and it'll do the rest for us, which is how it's always been, by the way. On to the next one! Ooh, what's this?
I only need one for now.
What? But oh. What if I wanted? Okay. What a lecture by Kamala speaker. When I give talks in the Soviet Union and allied countries, I am often asked whether it makes sense to focus scientific progress on making fundamental changes to the human race. We could, for example, teach people to change the properties of their skin in order to make it more resistant to heat or cold, or regrow lost limbs like certain reptiles, or control their biochemistry on a basis. Oh, my cat is rubbing against my dog toys. Regrow lost limbs. In other words, rephrase a well-known thesis. Should we strive for evolution in the individual? From the room, skeptical laughter. My answer is no. I admit that this is a defeatist attitude, but my objection does not lie in some bourgeois conception of man as the pinnacle of creation. We have access to powerful technology, and yet we should not alter ourselves to suit our environments. This would be a step backwards. Instead, we must perfect science in order to fully subjugate nature itself, whether it be here on Earth or somewhere else. Club minutes. Debate club minutes. Maintaining the highest level of technology Soviet science has achieved obviously requires people of profound intellect. That is why the fear that a situation could arise in which technology allows society to become stupider is irrational. Otherwise, this level of technology would be ultimately unsustainable. But if this threatens to divide mankind into two different groups, a smaller group with big brains that does all the intellectual activities, and another massive group with tiny brains that either does the simplest jobs or nothing at all because machines do everything for them, this is a pretty gloomy future, but is it even possible? This is exactly why the population's ideological education needs to be our #1 priority. Okay, we've got one more up here. Or no, we've got one more on this side, then we got more on the other side. Oh my god, no topic. Get over here right now. Please, something's wrong. Dumb and Dumber. Please change the workspace assignment for Y and M. Klimov and put them as far from each other as possible. Despite these employees' excellent professional qualifications, the productivity plummets if they are able to converse with one another. Employees have been complaining about their loud laughter and inappropriate jokes. You should be ashamed of yourself. I am shocked. Well, things at the facility usually shock me in a good way. This time I am simply outraged. Latest innovations in analyzing the structures of the future have allowed your lab assistants to make predictions of incredible accuracy and importance. And what are they doing? That's right. They are logging into our systems to hear the latest music from the radio of the future. I have no intention of disparaging the achievements of this project. Hearing music that will not be written for 30 or 40 years is truly scientific marvel, but only for the layman. Your employees are men of science, not greasers in leather jackets and tight jeans. If anyone else comes here to save themselves a copy of the latest Billie Eilish song, I'll cut off access for a month. Why Billie Eilish? Why use her? Okay. Despite the obvious importance of the entire archive for Facility 3826, I have been unable to get authorization for additional shipments of superconductor materials for over a year now. Before the accident, Comrade Zaharov promised to solve the problem via his personal channels. My question to you, Comrade Supervisor, is do you have any such channels of your own? And could you perhaps solve this problem for me? I'm not... the entire system might go belly up someday. The agent's tests have yielded impressive results while immersed in limbo. This seemingly fragile young woman literally becomes an invincible fighter. The implications for training sabotage specialists as well as our overall approach to secrecy are enormous. The fighter's memory can literally be wiped without harming their skills or personality. The term sleeper agent will take on a whole new meaning very soon. Data deleted, but there is an audio file.
Nechayev has emerged from his year in rehab a new man, with new habits and behaviors. For example, he's become fond of a certain euphemism. Crispy critters.
Ah, that's me.
It all started after one of the medics described him and Blesna as crispy critters during his recovery. He was still in a coma at the time. He suddenly leaped out of bed and nearly strangled the medic to death. The staff subdued him by shouting, "We're under fire," after which Plutonium ducked for cover, hit his head, and passed out. Ever since then, crispy critters has become part of his vocabulary. Could it be an example of psychological imprinting?
It's 48 out of 45 seconds. That doesn't make any sense. Comrade Privalov, is there any way to automate cataloging on a software level? According to my calculations, I spend between 5 and 7% of the time it takes me to do my paperwork, filing, and dates and numbers. As a result, I waste about 47 minutes every day, which adds up to about 1,260 minutes per work month and about 21 hours. That's 2.5 work days. I could be spending more efficiently. Have you lost your minds over there? Do something about this right away. P.S. I went to the psychologist for a checkup and requested. In total, my session took 11 hours, about 2 of which were spent on smoke breaks. The psychologist found no deviations. Holy crap, this is how I feel about reading all of these things. Taking up 2 work weeks. Is there anything in here? Nothing over there? Okay, let's go up here, read these last things, and then we're going to end the episode. It's already going to be over an hour at this point. About the article, here's my opinion on your article on the culture of instant messaging. All in all, I think it's well written, it's succinct, and does a good job of explaining the concept of developing faster ways to transmit text. Comparison to mail, then the telegraph, then the telephone, and then finally the terminal system is quite good. However, your frivolous dalliance with depicting emotions via text seems entirely out of pace or even theatrical. How do you imagine people will use punctuation to fill a text-based message with emotional contact? People still don't even understand the difference between a dash and a hyphen, or a comma and a semicolon, and you want them to start using these characters to communicate their mood? It's truly absurd. Get rid of it. Is this gonna be... Nope. I read what you wrote about using a colon and a parentheses to make a smiley face. It's a cute idea, but Privalov will never approve something like that. I think you'd be better off doing it a different way. Remember how people used to abbreviate words in telegrams? Maybe if you want to show you're happy, you could write hap, and then feel sad, you could just write sad. Think it over. So, Maria. Dmitry, I read your plan to install me in the implantable module. I value your persistence, but I must repeat yet again, I have no desire for arms, legs, hair, or the need to waste time eating and going to the bathroom. I'm fine, Dmitry. But your weak-minded desire to anthropomorphize everything under the sun is making me uneasy. Instead of thinking about how to put me into the head of some muscle-bound member of the Communist Youth League, why don't you find a way to cast off the burden of your own aging flesh? Excerpt from Technology for Kids. From a comprehensive article from Technology for Kids about the facility in the West, smart, educated people can use Homo Sovieticus. They're proud to have discovered this type of person, so they come up with a nice name. And they also use this name to humiliate us and put us down. They don't realize we've done something more. We were the first to breed this type of person. But in the West, as they can do is come up with new words for things, and they think the contribution to history is much more important than our accomplishment. The West's high opinion of itself is deserving of ridicule. P.S. At Sechenov's request, find references to Homo Sovieticus throughout the entire database and change it to Homo Futurium in every instance. Okay, we've got 2 more. And then taking a break. We're already at an hour. Another audio file?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
it's a
it's
minute
part
and a
of the
half.
experiment. You won't see anyone. Not me, not anyone else. Okay, subject. You will now have a conversation with 2 young women. Their names are Betsy
That's me.
and Olga.
Hello.
I need you
Hello.
to talk to them and tell me which of the young ladies you spoke to is not a human being, but an artificially generated voice. Is that clear?
Yeah, sure. I get it.
You may begin.
So, Betsy, do you have any kids?
I'm afraid not. But I want to have 2 when I finish my internship in about 3 years or so.
Huh. Okay. And here's the last one. Olga, could you ever kill someone?
Me? I don't know. Maybe if they were an enemy or trying to hurt people. Yeah, I guess I could do it to protect the motherland.
First one's a robot.
We're done here. So, which of the 2 young women you spoke with is a machine?
I think it's Betsy. Yes.
Yeah.
So, you think Olga is human?
That makes sense to me.
Please note that I never told you that either of them was human.
So they're both machines?
Actually, none of the individuals you've spoken to during this experiment are human. Thank you for your time. Please escort the subject out.
Shit. Creepy. Raven 1! The Raven 1 satellite was launched into orbit, but we were immediately notified that it had malfunctioned. That's the official version anyway. The unofficial version is more complicated. The plush samples on the orbiting satellite began to behave in a completely unexpected fashion in zero gravity and independently. Terminated communications with Earth. 2 years later, in 1957, we're planning to send a remote-controlled module disguised as another satellite to shed some light on these events. But until then, Raven 1 will be described as a failed, shuttered project in all official documents. Plutonium is to be removed from the Argentum. He will report directly to me. As for this linguistic oddity of his, leave it be. So my name is Plutonium. It will give him elements of a new personality, perform the necessary operations, install the module, and put him in a hospital room under surveillance. We can always turn a positive into a negative. Okay, one more. And then it won't let me pick this up, right?
I only need 1 for now.
I only need 1 for now. And oh my god, it's got a lot. As you know, I'm extremely old, and believe me, as a man who has dedicated his entire life to the science of life itself, no one is more surprised by this than me. What I mean to say is that the seduction of longevity which I am subject to, and to which I have no doubt any living being would similarly have pursued, now seems monstrous to me. Back then, when I first met Dmitry Sechenov as a patient on his operating table, I could never have imagined I might feel weighed down by the burden of the life he worked so hard to save. No, my friend, there is no joy in a long life, much less an eternal one. Like a shark living in icy waters for half a millennium, I am now swimming in the incessant flow of life, only able to observe the achievements of colleagues whose names I can barely recall, trying to remember those who came before and whose names are lost forever to history. The lengthy forward leads me to my conclusion, Comrade Nikitin. Your request to undergo life-extending procedures is officially denied. Please do not pursue this matter any further. There is no point. Report. Experiment Department individual data for May, June reporting period. Pigs, 36 incoming, 27 used, terminated, 2 rejected. Cows, 12, 0, female, blah, blah, blah. Humans, males, cats, taken for adoption by lab assistant. Found by security near the gate, breeding error dogs. Humans, females, 7 terminated, 1 transferred to the theater. Okay, that one's not super important. Vivisection is a crucial procedure that is justly considered unethical. While I begin an experiment that will result in the death of an animal, I feel a profound sense of regret at cutting short an exuberant life and acting as the executioner of another living being. When I cut into the and violate a living animal, I must smother within myself the biting reproach that I am, with my coarse and disrespectful hand, breaking a machine of transcendent artistry. But I do this in the pursuit of truth to help my fellow man. However, in recent years, I have begun to suspect that certain similar experiments are being conducted at my complex without my knowledge, of course. Not on animals, but on that fellow man himself. Due to my frailty and hectic schedule, I have been unable to confirm these suspicions, for which reason I request that you immediately send me any archival information about any such acts transpiring on the premises. Needless to say, this practice does in fact exist. I mean to nip it in the bud. Confidential, Vitali, you know that Comrade Pavlov has been a little anxious lately, and I am aware that he keeps sending you requests for archival data on various projects from Pavlov, especially on the threshold of the launch of Collective 2.0, so I've got a little request for you. Comrade Pavlov is, shall we say, getting on in years. We should try to keep his worries to a minimum. He's a talented scientist, but he's become painfully sentimental in recent years. If you get any requests regarding a particularly complex issue, just stall him for a bit and tell me right away. I'll make it worth your while. A certain dissonance. Progress by leaps and bounds has become typical of humanity in this challenging 20th century. Against the background of tremendous inequality, breakthroughs in science and technology can seem not just astonishing, but even insulting. But this is a sociological and political matter. Right now, I want to contemplate the issues of the individual who, feeling himself in a state of accelerated free fall, is being flung forward faster and faster by progress, much like pseudoscientific fears voiced when the railroads were being built, when the suggestion was actually made that the sight of the landscape whizzing by at 50 kilometers per hour would drive passengers mad. I am beset by similar predictions. Just 25 years ago, more than half of Soviet citizens were illiterate. Today, we are all flying into space. What awaits us tomorrow? Will we have time to catch our breaths before our next great leap? Another audio file. And
as a young man, Plutonium,
another drink,
now P3, was confident and funny, which played a key role in his assignment to Argentum.
Before I became a dick.
He was a promising operative, but lagged behind many other candidates in a number of ways. However, the positive influence and infectious good humor he imparted to his fellow servicemen, especially in comparison to the more morose Commander Kuznetsov, served as a compelling reason to recruit him. Because of this, the emergence of a more intimate relationship between him and Agent Blesna was only a matter of time.
How is it still going? 44 out of 37. Okay, you don't understand me, or is it that you don't want to, or are you afraid of losing the man who will give you your brilliant future? No, I'm not particularly fond of the human race you love so dearly, but that's not the reason, Dmitri. I'm the only one who can sort out all the finer points from the inside. The implant can only be configured and analyzed from within the subject's consciousness. No test subject, whether it be a rat or even a human being, can perform this kind of research. You are preventing me from continuing my work. Okay. We have read all of the terminals. There's a lot of them. And I know we didn't do much this episode other than explore this facility and talk to the scientist lady and learn a whole lot about ourselves and some other things, but I'm gonna end this episode here because it's long now. I did a lot of reading. Give my voice a break. Go let my dog in because he's been outside this entire episode. So for now, thank you guys for watching. Like this video, comment on it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like it. And I will see you all soon. Bye.